Hello boys and girls, welcome to another one of our infamous unboxing videos. So this is the McIntosh C2800 tube preamplifier. We just did an unboxing of the C55, which is the equivalent but solid state version. This is the tube version. McIntosh has just announced these two products. We just received our shipment, so let's unbox it and see what it looks like. Okay, like a lot of McIntosh products, you will see that they are double box. This is great because it makes sure that when the unit is shipped, it arrives safely, and that's what it looks like on the inner box. The outer box is really big, but that's to protect the inner box. Okay, here we go. Let me kick that over. Okay, so this is what you are faced with when you first open it. That's the new manual. As I mentioned in the C55 unboxing, the manual looks different with a different color of the McIntosh logo as well as the font. Looks quite different. I kind of like it. I was not sure initially, but it's growing on me. The font sort of looks a little bit robotic. What do you think? It looks a little bit... yeah, you like it? Yeah. See, and I think if I'm not wrong, before it was gold, now it's this silverish, chromish color. Yeah. All right. Now, of course, you have the remote control, the power cord, and all right, let's take this out. Nicely polished, all brand new. Of course, I can't smell anything. Just recovering from a cold, but from past experience, it has a nice brand new smell. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over and put it over the stand there so we can take a look and go through some of the features and functions, and I'll turn it around and show you what the back looks like. All right, we're going to cut here. Yeah. All right, so I've got this on the rack. We've plugged in the power. Let's see what it looks like when we turn it on. Tube warm-up. So actually, while it's going through that, let me talk about the features that it has. So in terms of feature set, the C2800 is very similar to the C55. There are a couple of differences, but otherwise, feature sets, they're very similar. You have a lot of inputs, 16 inputs, 9 analog and 7 digital. And that includes both RCA and XLR. 3 XLR inputs, 4 RCAs, 2 phono stages. Both phono stages can be configured for MM or MC. That's the difference between the C2700, the previous model, and the 2800, where the 2700, one of the phono stages was an MM dedicated only, and the other one was MC. In this case, both can be configured either way. It uses 3 12AX7As and 1 12AT7A. The tubes are on the top. There's a window that you can see the tubes on, and when you first turn it on, as with a lot of, in fact, all of the McIntosh tube products, there's an amber LED that is under the tubes, so it glows amber, and then when it's ready, it goes green. Allison can show the shots later. There's also the new DA2 DAC module, which is on the back, which I'll show you. This module was introduced with the previous generation, so it continues. And you've got seven digital inputs. So very full function, including USB, optical, RCA, and coax, as well as 1 MCT. MCT is McIntosh's proprietary digital connection. So if you're using a McIntosh transport, by connecting the MCT cable, you're able to decode SACD disks. So that's that. Let's see. Okay. The rest of the information's on the back. So that's your input, the volume control, any of the menu functions and so on are over here, if I'm not wrong. You push this to go into setup. And then once you're in the setup mode, you can adjust all kinds of different things, including your input volumes. So let's say, for example, you have 3 or 4 different sources. and one is, let's say, louder than the others, you can trim it so that when you switch to that input, the level stays approximately the same. There's a lot of different adjustments you can make, including naming the inputs. So, for example, instead of calling it balance, you could call it your source. So if you're using a source like, say, Eversolo Streamer, you can call it Streamer. And the second one could be tuner, the third one could be CD player, and instead, again, of calling it CD player, you could even call it the name of the CD player. So lots of changes and adjustments you can make. You can also hide the inputs you're not using. So if you only have 3 sources, you don't have to scroll through all 17 inputs to get to where you want to go. It'll just go to the 3 or 4 that you have active. Tone control. So this also has the option of using bass and treble adjustments. And so again, you can go into the inputs, into the setup and adjust the bass or the treble as you like it. And of course, your headphone jack is over here. It is set default so that when you plug in the headphone, your speakers are turned off. So the outputs going into your amplifier are disabled when you use headphones. All right, I'm going to turn it off and turn it around to show you what the back looks like. So starting over here, this is the DA2 module. This is where you connect all your digital inputs. So you have USB, MCT, as I said. This is where you connect the MCT cable for your McIntosh transport. Your optical, 2 of them, RCA, 2 of them, and your HDMI. So this is HDMI not for video, it's only for audio. You would connect this to your TV, compatible smart TVs. You would connect it here so that this will decode your TV audio. So you can get your TV audio into your stereo system. You have over here 3 balanced outputs as well as RCA, and this is very cool. This is the new. This is the difference. One of the differences between the C2700, the previous version, and the current version. All 3 can be full range. All 3 are active. However, if you wanted to do bi-amping of your speakers, you can set this up so that this output sends the signal to your mid-range and high frequency, and this one sends the output to your bass. And the crossover frequency can be adjusted in the menu. So for example, let's say we're driving Sonus faber speakers and we're using tube amplifiers to drive the mids and the highs, then I would use this to drive the tube and this one to drive the bass. The other thing that's also cool is that this output gain can be adjusted to match the 2 amplifiers. So oftentimes when when people do bi-amping, they're not able to, or they're not even aware that the 2 amplifiers, the 2 different amplifiers may have different sensitivities and gains. So one amplifier may be more sensitive, or one amplifier may have more gain than another. So that means that one performance range is louder than the other. So as an example, let's say you're using tubes to drive the mid-range and high frequencies, and that tube amplifier is more sensitive than the solid-state amplifier. When you connect it that way, the mid-range and highs are always going to sound louder at any given volume than the solid-state amplifier. This allows you to balance and adjust that out so that the output is the same. These outputs can be used to drive a second amplifier for another room, or to drive your subwoofers. So if you have 1 sub or 2 subs, you can configure that for either a mono sub or stereo subwoofer. And again, you can also use RCA as well. These are your balanced inputs. This is also new compared to the C2700. That's your processor loop. And what you can use that for is, for example, if you have a reel-to-reel, which a lot of people are now starting to get back into, or if you have a very high quality cassette deck, you can connect it here. Or let's say you have a room correction system like the MEN220 from McIntosh. You can put it in here. Or say you have an old legacy product like a DBX. Those of you who are old enough to remember that, you can connect that here as well. And then of course these are your RCA unbalanced inputs, and then finally your phono stages, your phono 1 and phono 2, and that's your ground connections over there. These are all the different excuse me, connections to connect to sources and other amplifiers and so on for control. And then finally, that's your service port, which you don't need to do unless you are a McIntosh technician. This is also new, the Ethernet connection. When this is connected, Whenever there's a firmware update, it will automatically download over here. Also, it allows you to use the new upcoming McIntosh app, which as of today, this morning, has not yet been released. That app will allow you to adjust your volume, your inputs, as well as source selections if they are connected to these data ports. So very cool. I'm actually waiting quite excitedly to see what the app will do. So anyway, that's an overview of the C2800 tube preamplifier. We're going to burn it in, and then I'm going to actually, we're sold out of the C2700. I was going to see if we could compare it to the C2700, but since we no longer have any more, I'm going to compare that to the C55 and tell you what I think of the differences between the two units. So stay tuned for that comparison. All right, well, thanks for watching another unboxing video. Leave your comments if you think you're interested in something like this, or what you thought of the C2700 or any of the other McIntosh tube preamplifiers, or if you absolutely hate our unboxing videos but you watch it anyway, put your comments below. I always get a kick out of watching those. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.